Welcome to Lift Where You Stand, a podcast for homeschool moms learning to build real confidence, not from having it all together, but a God confidence that meets you right where you are. I'm your host, Marcy Loveless, and if your homeschool feels a little messy, loud, or uncertain today, you are in the right place. You don't need a different life to feel more confident. You just need a different way to stand in the one you already have. I've been there. I see you. And I'm here to lift you where you stand. Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing today? I'm feeling a little sentimental today, and I want to have a little bit of a heart-to-heart with you. I want to first start out with a question. If someone walked into your home and observed your homeschool for a week, what would they see? Would they focus on the curriculum on the counter, your schedule, your lesson plans? Or would they find something deeper? Would they recognize your patience? Would they see your fears, your confidence, your beliefs, or your relationship with God? Okay. Something I have learned that I've come to learn after homeschooling myself for 12 years and coaching a lot of different homeschooling moms, it's summed up in this statement. Your homeschool is a direct reflection of who you are. Okay, now before you start letting your brain create any drama around this statement, I want you to just listen for just a second. This statement is not something to run away from. I want you to take a second. What was your first thought when you heard me say, your homeschool is a direct reflection of who you are? I want you to either write that down or make a mental note of it or put it in your phone if you're busy doing something. If your thought was anything negative, I have great news for you. And if you are anything like me, your first reaction was probably not a positive one. So let's just play this out for a second. I want you to see just how incredible our brains are. When you heard your homeschool is a direct reflection of who you are, where did your brain take you? If your brain immediately went to this place of, oh man, my homeschool is a mess. Maybe I am not supposed to be doing this. Or another thought could have been like, yep, see, I told you, I knew it. I am ruining my children, right? If that happened, I want you to take a breath for a second. And I want you to hear me say this very, very clearly. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Your brain is doing just what brains do. And here's what I mean by that. Our brains are incredibly efficient. One of the things they do best is they go looking for evidence. The moment that you have a thought, any thought, your brain immediately starts scanning everything around in your environment to prove that thought correct. It's not trying to hurt you. It's just doing its job, right? So here's what happened. Somewhere along the way on your life journey, you picked up a thought. Maybe it's been there for a while that says, I'm not cut out for this, or I'm failing my children. And you may not even know that that thought was there, but it's running quietly in the background. And then here you are today. You come here looking for encouragement. You're coming on these podcasts and you're trying to find some encouragement in your homeschooling journey. And the moment that I said your homeschool is a direct reflection of who you are, all of a sudden your brain lights up like a search engine that just found exactly what it was looking for. Okay? There, your brain is like, see, you thought this way back when. I found it right there. There's proof. You really shouldn't be homeschooling. Okay? But here's a thought for you that I want you to think about. This is not truth. That is just your brain being very efficient in doing its job in an area in your life that is not serving you well. Okay? There was a thought that came first. The thought always comes first. Okay. Then your brain scans for evidence, which comes second. Your brain did not find a fact. It just found confirmation of a story that you were already telling yourself. Okay. This is great news. Why? Because the story can be changed. The story that we create in our brain can be changed. I've seen it over and over again. It has changed for me, and it can change for you too. So when I now hear this statement, your homeschool is a direct reflection of who you are as a mom, I now have a completely different reaction. Instead of thinking like, oh man, I'm in trouble. My homeschool is a disaster. It's a mess. It's all over the place. I don't even go there anymore. Instead, my mind is, let's go. I can do this. I can do hard things. I want to level up my life. I want to level up my family and my homeschool. And that shift is exactly what I try to help homeschooling moms discover in their own life. I'm not a therapist. I'm not even a life coach. I'm a homeschooling coach doing something that I absolutely believe in and absolutely love. And one of the things I love most about working with homeschooling moms is that every single story is different. Some are homeschooling a child with very unique learning needs. Some are navigating difficult relationships. Some feel completely overwhelmed and inadequate in what they are trying to do. But we are all carrying, despite of what our circumstances is, we are carrying some version of the same doubts, the same fears, and the same questions like, am I enough? Can I really do this? What if I mess this up? Some emotions, they're all the same. They're just wrapped up in different wrapping paper. So here's what amazes me. And it's absolutely something that I love. What connects us is not our life circumstances. It isn't that wrapping paper that makes each one of us unique in our own little way. But you think right now you're here listening to this podcast. Okay. You think that you're here because you are finding answers or to receive inspiration for something that you're going through in your homeschool right now. But the real reason that you are here, however, is so much deeper than that. And it tells me so much about who you are. You are here because of a choice that you made. And at some point, every one of us made this decision. Every one of us said, I choose this. Nobody forced you to homeschool. You could send your child somewhere else. You could follow someone else's plan and call it a day. But you chose to be intentional with your child's education, their relationships, their character, and most of all, their heart. You stepped into that on purpose. This tells me something about who you are. And it's a beautiful thing. You are someone who is willing to grow and to make themselves better and that loves their children fiercely. And that is something to be worth celebrating. Is it going to be hard? Absolutely 100% yes. But one day you are going to look back and be so grateful that you did the hard thing. God is going to multiply the fruits of your labors. You just keep showing up and being intentional. He is going to meet you right where you are. Sometimes, I know for me, on many, many times, I started homeschooling and I thought homeschooling was about my children and changing my children. But one of the greatest miracles of homeschooling is how much it changes you as a mom. You guys, we all know that homeschooling exposes so many of our weaknesses, our fears, our insecurities. And if we let it, it reveals exactly where we need God to enter our story. And this is such a great gift. We weren't called to homeschool because we are enough. or that we have it all together. Okay. He calls us because through him, we can become so much more. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard the song by Lauren Daigle called You Say. If you haven't, go look it up right now. But in my next life, when I have an incredible voice, I will sing it for you. But today is not that day. But I want to share with you a few of the lyrics um, that I just absolutely love and that play on repeat and live rent free in my brain. But the first verse is I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I am not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am because I need to know. I love these words. And here is your gentle reminder. You are more than just the sum of every high and every low that you experience in your life. Homeschooling gives us lots of highs and a lot of lows, lots of cherished memories and lots of opportunities for growth, especially when we keep God at the center. To quote another verse of the song, she says, or she sings, taking all that I have, and now I am laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Isn't that beautiful? There's so much wrapped up in that simple song and the power of it. And when she sings it, it is even more powerful. So Heavenly Father is always going to magnify everything that we do. The small things we do single day are going to be magnified. The simple daily lessons, they're going to create moments of connection. When we approach a difficult conversation with the right spirit, then growth happens. Okay, simple walks outside helps us to slow down and to wonder about God's creations all around us. The things we do every day, they may seem small, but with God, small things become eternal. It all starts with you. Your education isn't over. It continues throughout your life. And as you fill your bucket, it will naturally overflow to your family. When you experience a type of learning that changes you as an individual, you will find yourself less affected by the opinions of others. You will find yourself comparing less and trusting in Heavenly Father to lead you in your homeschool. You may have heard me share this story before, but it's like one of my favorite stories ever. And it's the story of the ancient cathedrals that took over 100 years to build. And there is a story told of a craftsman who was high up on a ladder, carefully carving a very intricate little bird into the beams of the ceiling. And what makes this story so beautiful is that later on we'll find out that this bird was never going to be seen to the public eye. And it would be covered up completely once the building was finished. And one day, some prominent men were walking through observing the work. And they walked past this man and they looked up to this man on his ladder and they asked, "Why are you carving that bird? No one's ever going to see it." And this man, he never looked away from his work. He wasn't distracted by the question. He didn't waver. He didn't explain himself or justify his choices. He simply said, "Because God sees." That is my wish for you. When someone walks up to you and asks, "Why are you doing this? Why are you homeschooling? What about their social life?" Or even when your own brain starts to question your choices at a 10 o'clock on a very hard Tuesday morning, I want you to be steady on that ladder. I want you to get to a place where you can simply say, I am doing this for God. He called me to this, and He is using this season to grow my family, to deepen my relationships with my children, and to shape us in ways that we cannot see. And it's a beautiful journey. We are not homeschooling for public recognition. So we have to stop seeking public approval. Those two things cannot live in the same house. They don't go together. It doesn't make sense. Okay? We have to just focus on carving the bird, on shaping the little hearts in our home along with our heart. That is what's most important. And everything else on the outside will slowly dim away because we are putting God first in one of the most important works that we will do as mothers. All right. That's it for this week. Remember to lift where you stand, go be with your family. And remember, life is good. I'll see you next week. If something in this podcast resonated with you, I would absolutely love it if you could like and subscribe and share with other moms that could use it. If you want to go deeper and find out how you get more support from me, I want to personally invite you to a one-on-one homeschool coaching and mentoring call with me. To sign up, check out the link in the show notes. What's the worst that could happen? We meet, we laugh, and connect. And you may find out what I have to offer doesn't match what you're looking for. But what is the best that could happen? This could be a turning point for your homeschool, and I'm ready to help you get there.